Where does somebody find 150 million? Where?
When a sitting president accuses lawmakers of pocketing millions to sell laws, the country listens. But when Oscar Sudi, the firebrand MP from Kapseret, steps in and says, yes, it is true, but not everyone is guilty, the entire political class shifts uncomfortably in their seats. Because now, it's not just a political job, it's an insider confirming what Kenyans have always whispered about, that corruption is not a rumor, it's a system in Kenya.
Let the president come before a committee of parliament, let him repeat the things he has been saying in public rallies.
On August 19, 2025, Oscar Sudi used his X account to defend President William Ruto's explosive claims that members of parliament and senators have been soliciting bribes to shape legislation. Sudi admitted the allegations are largely true, but clarified it's only a minority. His point? Corruption in parliament is real, but the fish are not just in one pond. There are bigger sharks, governors, parastatal heads, principal secretaries, who play a much bigger game than egg thieves in parliament. Quote, the statements by the president and ODM leader Raila Odinga about MPs' bribery claims are true, but not all MPs are involved. Even in the Senate, it's a minority. However, some senators have made the graft their business. MPs who have engaged in corruption are like egg thieves. But what about governors, parastatals, MDs, parastatals, MDs and DGs, and some principal secretaries? What fate awaits these chicken thieves? Unquote. This defense came after President Ruto shocked his own lawmakers during a joint UDA-ODM parliamentary group meeting. He revealed that a governor once spent 150 million Kenyan shillings to sway senators, while an MP allegedly pocketed 10 million Kenyan shillings to weaken anti-money laundering laws. That revelation sent shockwaves, not just because of the figures involved, but because it directly indicted the very institution that is supposed to provide checks and balances. Parliamentarians didn't take this lightly. Homa Bay Senator Moses Kajwang demanded that Ruto provide evidence, names, receipts and all. Some even suggested the president should appear before the Privileges Committee to explain himself. This pushback highlights a deeper tension. Can a president accuse parliament without eroding its legitimacy? Or is this a calculated move to shift political pressure from the executive's own scandals onto parliament? But the most mind-boggling statement came from one Robert Alai. Uhuru and Gachagua are to blame for the fallout between Ruto, Raila and the MP.
The people are close to former President Uhuru Kenyatta, the people are close to who have now moved to the camp of the impeached former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, they have to be called out. And so I would urge our MPs and senators that without evidence and without substantiating on the allegations, I think you need not to read much into whatever the president and the former prime minister was saying. I would ask caution. Oh, there are some people, individuals in government and out of government, very influential in government, very influential around Honorable Raila Odinga, who have, formed a scheme where they want to ensure that the president and the former prime minister is in a state of constant confrontation with the MPs and senators. And they are doing this. When they finish with the senators and the MPs, then they're going to move to the MCAs. The idea of fight against NGCDF and the fights against the senators and the MPs was mooted by people around the former president Uhuru Kenyatta. And their intention is to ensure that Raila and President Ruto don't sit down and don't achieve much with the union of broad-based government.
Really? But former Public Service Cabinet Secretary Moses Kuria weighed in on President William Ruto's explosive remarks that members of parliament sometimes vote because of financial inducements. In a statement on Monday while appearing on Citizen TV, Kuria said he was somehow grateful to the president for openly admitting what many Kenyans have long suspected, that money influences the passage of laws in parliament. The CS went further, linking the president's admission to other controversial legislation. Maybe that is how they passed the housing levy in record time. We did not know why, but now the president yesterday may have given us hints of how he achieved that.
So tell me, who delivers that money to you?
There is always an office. That time it was the office of the majority leader. It is where you pass by.
But the office of the majority leader was Aden Duale. He gave money to be removed.
No, there was a secretary. The secretary of Duale. The secretary of Duale is the one who was, remember, you pass by and you see her, and then, you know, she gives you your 100,000 and you go your way after the successful job. Never mind that some of us were not removing Duale but it was done in such an orthodox manner because all of us were in the Tanga movement. So it can happen. But my question is this, Sam. I think somehow I'm feeling grateful to the president by saying that members of parliament, they vote because of financial inducement. Maybe that explains how they in a record time passed 4 bills for the universal health coverage, a darling of the president. Maybe, thank you Mr. President for letting us know. Maybe that's how they've passed the housing levy in a record time. We didn't know why. Now the president yesterday may have given us hints of how he achieved that. Mr.
Kuria, you were in government at the time.
I'm just saying, maybe, because I'm just saying this is Sam.
Suba North MP Millie Odhiambo joined the debate with a sharper moral angle. She reminded everyone that accountability is personal. In her words, quote, everyone will carry their own cross and give their own account before God, unquote. Her caution was clear. Don't generalize corruption, deal with individuals, and don't take parliament's support for granted. But Sudi was not backing down. By comparing corrupt MPs to egg thieves, he cleverly reframed the debate. If the president is serious about accountability, why stop with parliament? Why not go after the chicken thieves in the counties and ministries? His defense of Ruto was also a challenge. Clean house everywhere, not selectively. In classic Sudi style, he turned what looked like a defense of the president into a bigger critique of Kenya's entire governance system. This debate is not just about bribery in parliament, it's about the credibility of Kenya's institutions. If MPs and senators are for sale, and if governors and PSS are the real power brokers, where does that leave the ordinary Kenyan? For Sudi, admitting the rot is the first step. But for the political class, this admission is dangerous. It exposes a house of cards built on trust that may no longer exist. And so the question remains, is Ruto's bombshell the beginning of genuine accountability or just another political distraction? Drop your comments. Newsroom, Maisha TV, Bushabi Jr.